Hello and welcome to Alfons Stylize. My name is Johanna Nagelsbach. I am the grandniece of the painter Alfons Stylize. Even in 1930 there are news for and from the Stylize family in Neustadt. You can find out what they are in this video. The newspaper Generalanzeiger für Neustadt an der Hart and the surrounding area carries the message on the front page of April 10th, 1930. There are 3 end-of-school celebrations, namely at the Oberrealschule, where Karl Nagelsbach, Alfons Stylize's brother-in-law, teaches, at the Humanistic Grammar School, where Alfons Stylize teaches, and at the Girls' Lyceum. At that time, the school year did not end in summer, but before Easter. Easter Sunday in 1930 was April 30th. How good that the Generalanzeiger already pointed out on February 25th, 1930, that it was no disgrace not to be transferred. After all, there was no point in sending untalented children through school. Well, that couldn't happen to the Stylize and Nagelsbach families. Anneliese Stylize starts 3rd grade in May, and her cousin Willi Nagelsbach attends the Humanistic Grammar School. The school celebrates its golden 50th anniversary in 1930. The newspaper Stadt- und Dorf-Anzeiger of September 22nd, 1930 devotes almost 3 full pages to the event. Before the article begins, however, there are the important things: the sale of milk pigs, sheepdogs, storage barrels, etc. The ceremonial speech, which is reproduced in full in the article, is too long to quote in full. However, I would like to mention one paragraph. Humanism, as it is understood in the Humanistic Grammar School in Neustadt, is described as education for humanity. Humanity not in the narrow sense of the Enlightenment, but in the broader and deeper sense, as the all-round development of the human being. All powers of the soul, not only the intellect, but also the imagination, feelings and will, should be developed equally. This was the task of the Humanistic Grammar School in Neustadt. The reference to the Enlightenment is particularly interesting, because 1924 marked the 200th anniversary of the birth of the great German Enlightenment philosopher Immanuel Kant. In a situation of war between Prussia and France, Kant set out the principles of a future international law, condensed into the following demand: no state should interfere violently in the constitution and government of another state. Kant had recognized the escalation logic of war and demanded that not all means were permissible, even against an unjust enemy who was acting contrary to international law. For Kant, war had nothing heroic about it. Around 600 book titles were published in German-speaking countries for Kant's 200th birthday in 1924. Kant's democratic doctrine of freedom and equality, his humanism and understanding of law, and his moral standards were invoked. After the First World War, however, not only students, but also philosophy professors turned to the philosophers Fichte and Hegel. In 1918, they founded the German Philosophical Society as a reservoir for anti-democratic, authoritarian and nationalist forces. They hated democracy. In 1930, the NSDAP became part of the state government in Thuringia. The racial researcher Hans Friedrich Karl Günther was appointed to the chair of social anthropology. At the same time, Hitler announced the purging of Marxist democratic phenomena from the teaching staff. Does this sound familiar to you with Thuringia? Be careful. History repeats itself in structures, but not one-to-one. We are at the anniversary of the Humanist Grammar School in Neustadt. They don't follow Hegel there, but Kant. That will still play a role after 1933. As you can see, philosophy plays an important role in Neustadt in the Palatinate. The dawning of a new era can be felt. This has severe consequences for Alfons Stylize. In the next video he will have his last exhibition for many years. I look forward to seeing you again.